Hello and good morning, everyone. How was your weekend? Welcome to a brand new week and a brand new Monday. My name is Edmund, and today is the 17th of August 2020. So we ended last week with gold prices consolidating in a range of 1,960 US dollars to a low of about 1,931. So gold prices are, in terms of its volatility on last Friday, came back to about normal, trading within a 27 US dollar range compared to the volatility on Tuesday, which was moving about $125, and also on Wednesday, where it went down about 65 US dollars, and then it went up again by about 85 US dollars. Okay, so gold prices are consolidating, and it will be looking for further news and I would say further news and direction for the rest of today and also moving forward for the rest of the week. Okay, so some of the main reasons that pushed gold prices down last week was that US Treasury prices or Treasury yields was rising. One of the reasons gold prices fell. Other factors could be the COVID-19 situation, and hopefully there are some concrete developments in terms of the vaccine developments. So a combination of factors push down gold prices, and of course bearing in mind that gold prices has been going up for quite some time, even as early as August the 4th, coming up from 1,975 to a high of 2,075 US dollars. Okay, so let's have a look and see what is coming up for today. Today's economic calendar is extremely light. We will be having the Japanese revised industrial production numbers. This will be the yearly revised industrial production numbers coming out at 12:30 p.m. And towards 8:30 p.m. tonight, local Singapore time, we will be having the Empire State Manufacturing Index data coming out from the US. Towards 10 p.m., we will be having the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index. So apart from the Empire State Manufacturing Index and also the Housing Market Index, there is no other significant economic data coming out from the US or even from Europe or the UK. Okay, so news in focus wise, the US dollar weakened on Friday. It was again a very quiet day for US dollar and major currency pairs, as again markets started to quiet down after seeing US dollar strengthening last week from a low of 92.52 to a high of 93.85. And for the last 3 market days last week, on a Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, we do see the US dollar coming down from its resistance on the 4-hour charts, and also on the 1-hour charts, coming down to find support at 92.95 levels. Currently, the US dollar seems to be still on a slightly bearish tone. We will see whether these support levels of 92.90 can hold. If it can hold, there's a good chance that it will consolidate and even push back up. Okay, if it cannot hold, we could be looking at the US dollar coming down again to test 92.54 levels, which is about 42 points down. And if the US dollar does come down, we should see the UK pound and also the euro dollar move up, okay, which it is starting to do now. As we are speaking at about 10:20 a.m., we do see the US dollar marginally weakening in the US dollar index, and we do see the UK pound strengthening just a little bit by about 6 pips. Again, it's a follow through from last week's bullish move over here. Okay. So in terms of economic data, last Friday, August the 14th, we had the core retail sales data and also the retail sales numbers coming out from the US. Retail sales numbers came in at 1.2%, slightly below market expectations. However, it was still a reasonable reading. So it was the third straight month of positive growth over the month to month. So last Friday's retail sales data was expected to come in at 2%. However, it came in at 1.2%, which was slightly below market expectations. Well, you can say that maybe it's partly due to that the data came in slightly below market expectations. The US dollar didn't go up; it actually weakened slightly and then went quiet. Okay, so no major movements on the US dollar and major currency pairs on last Friday. And a quick look and see what other events came up. University of Michigan's consumer sentiment data came out at a reading of 72.8, which was better than a 72.5 reading in the month of July. This shows that consumer sentiment in the US is improving, and consumers are more optimistic and willing to spend money in the last 1 month's time period. Okay, so so in terms of retail sales, analysts are actually a bit concerned about the recent V-shaped recovery, whether this V-shaped recovery can last or not, as analysts are looking towards the current ongoing negotiations regarding a new stimulus package, which has been dragging and hasn't come to a positive conclusion for the last 3 weeks or so. Okay, so let us have a look back at the technical charts. So again, US dollar was pretty quiet yesterday, ranging in a smaller range and finding support currently at the 92.95 levels. Again, if we cannot sustain, we are looking towards the US dollar to drop further. However, for last Friday, as you can see, the US dollar weakened at about 6 p.m. Local Singapore and Malaysia time. And for major currencies such as the UK pound, we do see the UK pound strengthening as early as 10 plus 5, 15, 3 p.m. local Singapore time. The UK pound strengthens from 1.3054 all the way to a high of 1.3142. Okay, and again, this is the range for the US dollar. If it continues to drop, we could see the UK pound coming up to test these levels again of 1.3125, which is just about 25 pips to the upside. And if it's even more bullish, it could look to test this tip again of 1.3142, which is 45 pips to the upside. And it could even test a level of 1.3158, which is about 62 pips to the upside. Okay, so we got to watch out for the chart patterns at about 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time to see whether it continues to push up. Okay, so to the downside, if the US dollar does consolidate and have some recovery to the upside, if the US dollar does strengthen, we could see the UK pound coming down to test these support levels again at 1.3083, about 70 pips to the downside, and it could also come down to test this uptrend line, possibly later on over here at about 1.3080. Okay, so that is the upside and downsides for the UK pound. Moving on to the euro dollar wise, we could be looking for it to test again the recent highs of 1.1878, which is only about 28 pips to the upside, and it could even go to test this tip again of 1.1895, which is about 45 pips to the upside. And to the downside, again, of course, if it does pull down, the immediate support will be at 1.1826, which is about 30 pips to the downside. Moving on to gold prices. Again, gold prices has been consolidating last Friday from a high of about 1,960 to a low of about 1,931 US dollars. It was about almost a 30 US dollar range. So as of now, this morning actually, as early as 7 a.m., gold prices dropped from 1,948 to a low of 1,931. It was down about 17 US dollars. And again, currently it has gone quiet, retracing back about $9 and pending the UK trading sessions to come in, and also the US trading sessions to decide whether it will continue to consolidate or start to break out from its consolidation phase. Silver prices, again, mirroring the movements of gold. For last Friday, it was moving down in a very tight consolidating range, going down about $1.90. So currently, of course, it's still consolidating, but it's more towards a slightly bearish tone. Okay, So moving on to oil prices. Oil prices again is also on a slightly bearish run after finding resistance for 1 to 3 days, couldn't get past, and then it moves down from $42.95 to a low of $41.89 on last Friday. Okay. However, at the close of last Friday's trading, we do see the oil prices US WTI having a decent recovery, and also currently it is well, again gone quiet, so we got to wait and see later on in the afternoon or in the evening where the participants or where the traders will be pushing the prices. Okay, so this is the range. So most of the instruments, as updated last Friday, is in a consolidation mode, and we should be able to see a clearer direction later on today in the afternoon and towards the US trading sessions. Okay, so for gold prices currently, support levels are at 1,927, which is about $12 to the downside, and to the upside the current resistance is at 1,949, which is about $11 to the upside. Of course, if it does break up higher, the next resistance is at 1,958 levels, which is about $18 to the upside. And again, if it breaks down in a very bearish tone, we could see the gold prices come back to touch 1,928 again. Okay, so again, we need to wait for the UK trading session and also the US trading sessions to understand the bigger picture and also the larger scale movements. Okay, so yep, Australian dollar, not much of a movement, and also the Canadian dollar, as we can see, it is it's just going up a bit as the recent trading cycle, the oil prices was weakening and then strengthening. So we do see the Canadian dollar initially weakening, and then the Canadian dollar weakening, and then currently it is strengthening a little bit. Okay, so on the bigger picture, Canadian dollar is trying to find some support here, but technically it is still on a bearish trend. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is bearish trend means that the US dollar is still weak against the Canadian dollar. Okay, so that about begins our trading week for today. I hope you guys have a good trading day ahead, but bear in mind currently most of the major currency pairs and also the US dollar is still relatively quiet. We can actually let it decide the direction first, and then we can come in for a trade during the UK trading session or the US trading session, or we can just observe today's movements first and then come in tomorrow for a trade. So I hope you guys have a good trading day ahead, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the latest market updates. Thank you.